Sehr gut. Sehr gut.
I'm a time traveler from the year 2025, and I've come here to kill you, Hitler.
Oh, not again. I'm never gonna have enough time to finish these paintings with all of these time travelers trying to kill me.
Well, I'm going to succeed.
Before you pull the trigger, can I just ask why? Why do all of you people want to kill me?
Isn't it obvious? I'm a progressive, a liberal, a fighter for social justice. And you are a fascist who implemented a reign of terror. And while the effects of your policies devastated the world for decades, soon we will be able to take back the White House, and we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
You want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace. Me too! That's fantastic!
What? No. Ugh. You and I have nothing in common. What I'm saying is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence them.
Silencing those who disagree with you. I do that too! Oh, wunderbar! Oh, the Nazi movement will not die with me.
Don't give me that! I'm enlightened, and you're as bad as... well, as Hitler. Listen, what I'm trying to say is we are very close to implementing a utopia, as long as we can get rid of some certain undesirable people groups.
Yes, like the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews. Oh.
So, in the future, you also do not like the Jews?
Well, no. But we don't believe in segregating all the races like you do. I mean, except for, like, graduation ceremonies. In dorms. And hiring practices. Oh, and admissions policies. That sort of thing.
I, too, am a fan of the segregation. I'm sorry, I have to ask, is this a real firearm, or is this some kind of toy for kids?
It's a flare gun. I'm trying not to support America's toxic gun culture. I'm a firm believer in gun control.
Gun control! This was one of my ideas, too. Ban them from the undesirables. Yes, look here. Oh, and your shirt. This is an organization founded by Margaret Sanger. Yes?
Wait, you know about Margaret Sanger?
Jawohl, of course. Oh, she's such a lovely person.
No. She's a fighter for reproductive rights, for women's empowerment,
and the eradication of undesirable populations by means of eugenics. Brilliant lady, very inspiring. I must use some of her ideas in our socialized healthcare system.
Socialized healthcare? That's not your thing. That's our thing.
No, it's very much my thing. Did you know that Nazi means National Socialist German Workers' Party? Nazi is just more catchy. Nazi. Just rolls off the tongue.
No. This can't be true. This has to be some sort of mistake. We are nothing alike. You're Adolf Hitler, evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate. And a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian? Me too!
Okay, I am so confused right now. I came here with a clear goal in mind to kill the most evil man to have ever lived. Besides Ronald Reagan. But now that I'm meeting you in person, you're not at all what I thought you were. And your painting is actually really good. What do you call it?
I call it Ein Reich ohne Juden.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it sounds beautiful.
It does, doesn't it?
Hey, folks, welcome to the program. How are you doing? Nice to be with you. Do me a favor, folks. Will you please give me the finger? Hit share, hit like, hit follow, hit subscribe. Bounce this all around. We're going to go through some interesting information on this episode that I think might help put things into perspective. Today's program is brought to you by the fine folks at Gold Go. Here's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to go Jovan's, right? I fumbled that one, didn't I? Go on to jovanlovesgold.com. That's right. jovanlovesgold.com. I want you to request your free gold and silver kit today. Gold's going to the roof. What is it, about $4,280, somewhere around that? I started telling you this before it was $1,500. Now, this is not about investing in gold or silver. This is about knowing why you need gold and silver, because now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver. So what I'm asking you to do is just feed your brain and then make a decision that's good for you. And by the way, if you have a 401k, an IRA, or retirement savings account, this is why you need to know this information, because if you wanted to try to pull some of that money out, let's say you got hit by a winter storm, roof blew off, then you got to fix something desperately at your home. You're trying to take it out of those retirement accounts. You'll have to fight for it, even though it's your money. But number two, they could ding you up to 50%, penalize you for taking it out. You need to understand the workarounds. So please go to jovanlovesgold.com. Please. And just feed your brain. That's how simple it is. And oh, by the way, speaking of feeding, it's that time of year. Hopefully you're going to look at our best-selling books, Food Forest Bible, how to basically plan, Plan, then plant a garden one time in a way that regenerates itself decades, even centuries. Just make sure you get the one with my name on it. In this book, I put out an ebook, and people cloned it, copied it, chopped it up, and they're copying the versions. If you want the real one with the complete information the right way, then you need my book. It's not just about, I designed it in a way that you don't have to keep on hunting for information by the index. Every chapter is fully self-contained. And so you might see a plant appear in 20 different chapters because there's 20 different things you need to know about it. So you're not looking back and forth. By the way, I also show you how to hire assassins to kill those bugs in your garden that eat your plants. Yeah, God made assassin bugs to get rid of them. I teach you about all of them. Anyway, hardbound is a version of this book where it's kept forever. It's made to take outside with you. By the way, we also did this with fruit, with our giant fruit in small spaces. And if you like gardening and you don't want to dig and you don't want to weed, look at that. But yeah, bug assassins. Yeah. Fun stuff. Okay. And then I want to let you know, sometime in this recent time, you might not see me in my regular time slot bringing information to you. It's just because so much is going on right now. So much is going on right now with the large scale cross verification of everything we did in the full forensic audit of Arizona. Everything cross-verified, independent sources. I mean, we're talking like 5, 6, 7 times cross-verified, everything reproduced. That's the thing about evidence. It has to be reproducible. And so you at times you might see me where I have to take a step away for a moment because it's such a monumental piece of work that I've got to make sure all the information is correct and everybody understands why we did it. And because all of these methodologies came from my weird brain and have to do with the patents, I, as the inventor and author, have to explain the formulas and why I devised the various methods I did to look at that information. And it's just so monumental. Let me remind you what we did.
Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats. resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County Full Forensic Audit Archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now.
So when maybe I don't pop up, I know you worry about me. I lived through one assassination attempt. I have to tell you, I told my family this. As these various independent reports come in, I am over the moon, but I'm terrified at the same time. I find myself shaking, right? And after just so many years of abuse and people saying, well, he didn't do an audit or it wasn't peer reviewed or whatever, to finally have what equates to the greatest knowledge base in the world working to cross-verify, just taking raw numbers and confirming everything we found is big. But it's also terrifying. It's taken me in to a whole new level of just understanding how bad our system is, right? And so I'm trying to come to grips with that. If you can imagine, it's even worse than I thought. I'm trying to come to grips with that. So you'll watch me either share things, Telegram, Twitter, or whatever. So you'll always know I'm around and kicking. I know you worry about that. Anyway, we're going to go through a thought exercise. It's called a social experiment. I've done these before. This is part 1. It's got to be done in multi-part series. Can you be made to shun God? You're going to want to pay attention to this. Share this right now. Give you just under 2 minutes, and then let's get started.
Warning. The following program has been rated Dilligaff and is intended for open-minded audiences. If the truth offends you, or if you are allergic to focused intensity, intellectual athleticism, or the occasional F-bomb or even irreverent humor, please switch off now. If your delicate sensibilities need to be worried about or addressed, might we recommend the Underwater Basket Weaving channel to you? Otherwise, sit back, enjoy the wisdom, insight, and wicked sense of humor.
Cut the crap. How many times a day do you want to say that to politicians, the elite, the loony liberals, the fake news media, and the gender-confused, emotional socialist snowflake crowd? Cut the crap is your secret weapon for fighting for our freedoms and our great republic. It all begins with a massive mental enema, freeing you from the toxic news and politically correct views, which constipate your consciousness with stinking thinking. Your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. He's known for calling out politicians and telling them to cut the crap. You've seen him on virtually every television network and listened to him on Coast to Coast Radio. And now he's here to help you learn to fight for America. Culture, race, and American politics. They all have one thing in common. They all need to cut the crap. Now, here's your host, Jovan Hutton Pulitzer.
Okay, guys, here we go. We're going to do a social experiment. This is part 1. The question is, can you be made to shun God? Put it in chat. I want to watch it across the different platforms. Put it in chat. Do you think that you, for any reason, could be made to shun your belief in God? For whatever reason, do you think it could be done? Do you think you could be completely shunned away from believing in God? Now, I know that's a tough question. And predominantly people are no. Somebody said, yes, it could happen, right? And there are a lot of different things going on out there. That's what we're going to discuss. Now, let me tell you where this came from. I was recently on with my very good friend and someone I truly love, Roseanne. I don't know if you watched the episode, but I was on with Roseanne. I noticed something very interesting when the broadcast originally aired. And then I noticed something very interesting when I re-aired the broadcast. The amount of trolls that came into the chat attacking Jews and witch and all this kind of stuff was astounding. Now, when it happened on Roseanne's platform, I just kind of watched it as the program ran. And then when it happened on my platform, where I can really see a little bit past it, right? I started looking at these accounts that were posting things and kind of agreeing with each other, and come to find out the vast majority of them are bot accounts. And they're made to project one thing, and then they kind of go into this drill of letting you believe other people agree with them. And it's all junk, right? It's all junk. It was that observation that led me into the thought experiment, or the social experiment, that we're going to do today. Now, one of the things that happens in psychological warfare is you can actually give people a complete different truth. And it can be a truth. It's all in how you present it. But you can radically change somebody's view. Let me give you an idea. How many of you, for Thanksgiving, I had a blue cheese wedge with my turkey. You know, it's just cheap iceberg lettuce. But every now and then, just that cheap iceberg lettuce is really good, with real good quality blue cheese, right? So let me ask you a question. How many of you like vegetables, any kind of vegetables? Doesn't matter what it is, right? But how many of you like, with your meals, maybe most meals or every meal, like vegetables, right? And a lot of you, sure, I love vegetables. Okay, now I'm going to give you a little bit of a twist. Now, this is an application of a truism that takes something that is true, right? Everybody's saying, I love veggies, I love veggies, I love veggies, right? Love it, right? Now, what I'm going to show you is taking a truth, an absolute truth, and looking at it linearly, pulling out one little twist and redefining that twist. All you got to do is redefine that one twist. So you're taking something that's truth, right? You look at it linearly, you find one little bitty thing in there, and you twist just the meaning of that one word. Let me show you how this works. Read this out loud to yourself. In reality, plants are actually farming us by giving us oxygen daily until we all eventually decompose so they can consume us. Scientifically, it's a correct statement, right? We exhale carbon dioxide. Plants use that carbon dioxide and put out oxygen, right? And in fact, when you decompose and become part of the soil, the nutrients of your body go into the plants. It's why so many cultures will plant, like the Native Americans will plant with corn and beans, Three Sisters planting, they'll put a fish head in it because it's fertilizer. Yes, we become fertilizer. Now, why am I showing you this? What this is a very subtle, right, bending of the intent part of a scientific fact. See, in reality, it says, in reality, plants are actually farming us by giving us daily oxygen until we all eventually decompose so they can consume us. That's a prime example of how short twist can work and change the meaning, because it's actually inferring upon the plant. It's a plan. It's an intent. It's being done to you. Get it? That's the prime example I've ever found on being able to take something that's true in the way you understand it, but giving a little bitty twist that completely rocks your world and changes everything. And that's what we're going to be doing today in this social experiment. Now, the question I am asking is, can you be made to shun God? You watch it going on right now. You watch it going on with our dictionaries. Word modification is happening all the time because many of you smoke fags and will never admit it. And cigarettes are hard to break, too. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you understand what I'm saying. Languages, cultures, etc., etc. So here's how I executed this social experiment. Just like anything else in the world, you can enter into, right? Enter into, right? And there you go, Pat. Plants don't plan anything. And that's the whole point. But see, the turnaround in truth, you go, wow, really think of it, that's true. All they wanted you to think is that plants were planning it. That's the subtle twist that a lot of this does on humankind. So in any type of a year in and no fags, good for you. I always knew you were a fag hag, but that good for you. Good for you. I heard you were high consumption of those fags for a while. Is that correct? As many fags as you would go through in a day was astounding. Congratulations. Anyway. Anything in the world can be mathematically modeled. You can cross-confirm, cross-correlate things by mathematical modeling. You can build scenarios in labs, etc., right? In the world of vast computing, you can model many things. So I want to share with you what I modeled in a system, meaning if I wanted to get to this endpoint, so I gave the computer systems the endpoint. The endpoint. And the endpoint was getting people to turn away from God. Now, I'm using a little bit of a leeway here. I did it as a North American experiment. And I'm interchangeably using God and Christianity. And we don't need to go into a religious discussion here because that's not the point. You'll miss the point, and I don't need people posting Bible verse to try to show off to people in chat how much they know about the Bible. That is not what this is about. Okay? This is about if I wanted to get to an end game of getting people to turn away from Christianity, and I want them to turn away from God, and I go all the way back, and I'm an observer, and I have two people in this play. One person is a decided evil villain. So I'm putting that, both sides of the equation there. Left shoulder, right shoulder, left hand, right hand. So one must be a villain. Therefore, it is the villain that wants to take everybody in North America, and you could apply it to the world, though, and get people away from Christianity or God. So that's the villain premise in this. On the opposite side, good and bad, they have their both counterpoints, right? You got to put them together. I have a hero. And the hero in the story is able to see it for what it is and able to help people defend against the plan of evil. So you follow how it works? And you put in this, it's called a thought experiment. And so you put it in as a narrative. And basically, you want to say, okay, I want you to fill in the blanks. You now know there's an evil player. You now know there's a good player. You now know one of them is trying to destroy the United States of America, God and Christianity. And the other one is trying to save people from it. I want you to take that premise. I need you to find me a plausible anchor, a plausible plot, a plausible plan. However, there's one term in there, and the term in there is, as I wrote into the formula, just like Dan Brown used in the book Da Vinci Code, which, by the way, I think is a phenomenal piece of fiction. Great books, great work. He did a phenomenal job. But just like Dan Brown took real world information and geolocations and places and worked them in the book to make it appear real, in this thought experiment, I said, I want you to use that same formula. It all must be based on things that are true and accurate and going on right now. So you understand the premise of the thought experiment. So in this module 1, this is episode 1, because it may end up being 3 episodes, I don't know. Right, and Da Vinci Code's a phenomenal book. Doesn't shake my faith, right? I don't really watch Tom Hanks stuff anymore, but it's a phenomenal movie. This is part 1. It may end up being 4 parts, okay? But it's part 1. And so you enter this into mega honking computer power and say, okay, go fetch. Now, the first thing it came up with is, what does the villain need to occur by setting up a scenario to put everything in motion? And it came up with 2 statements that you've got to get as many people as possible to say. Okay? Understand, I'm asking for a plot, a formula, a kickoff. Tell me how we could identify this was going on. And so the first thing that it kicked out was, where you have to get to is you have to get people to the point they say, I'm done with church, and or in combination with, we've been lied to. So that's all this whole thing needs to do. It's got to create this sentiment that I am done with the church. We've been lied to. So that's the kickoff of this thought experiment. Now, as this starts releasing a plan to me, it starts showing the mechanisms. Now, the mechanism is, if this was, and this is really ironic, I asked the system, give me absolutely the best mechanism to get people to say that. It gave me what people need to say. I'm done with the system. I'm sick of church. I'm done with it. Walk away. Now, I said, I need a mechanism to do that. What is going to be the most convincing mechanism possible remember, everything has to be based on real world stuff, that I could use, that if the evil person was doing it, here's how they would do it. And if the hero person was trying to save people from it, here's how they do it. This is the element. Here's what it came up with. It said, and there is no word at additions in here by me or anyone on my team at all. This is just what mass Uber computing says. It says the evil person will create a faith-friendly, patriot-friendly media company that will say what the mainstream won't. And it will promise to expose corruption in government, finance, and religion. Now, for me, on that, I went, even right now, it just sent chills in my spine. I went, holy shit. Holy shit. Because there's a lot of recognition in this for me. For the person to execute the diverting away of people, the prime mechanism that all the computing power in the world could come up with said, okay, we're going to have the evil person basically create a faith-friendly, patriot-friendly media company that will say what the mainstream won't, and promises to expose corruption in government, finance, and religion. Wow. Does that sound familiar to any of you? Does that sound familiar to any of you? You're going to be able to talk frankly about, we're going to cover what mainstream won't. We're going to tell you the truth. Does that smack you in the face as much as it smacked me? I was like, holy crap. Right? Holy crap. This is like, you're right. It's like deja vu. We've seen those things, haven't we? We've seen those things. And I'm like, wow. Now remember, this is a thought experiment. The next step in the thought experiment is it starts rolling it out here. Okay. What it says, what this media institution will do is they're actually based is on the target is not corruption. Like they say, the target is trust itself. Because they do this little word bending and stuff, they're actually facilitating a demise in the trust of church or democracy or one another. In other words, it's like Christian, I'm a Christian. Hey, look at me. And then maybe being on the court stand going, well, I never really had it. And all of a sudden, it kind of shakes you. Wait a minute. You have this image as a Christian or faith network, but you're saying you lied to us all the time? And I'm going, holy smokes. Now, again, I have no control over what the system puts out. Zero control. All I did is put massive computing power to it. I gave you the elements I gave you. It was that simple. And I'm looking for the plausible basis, plot, plan, and everything else. And I'm like, holy smokes, this sounds really familiar to me. And I'm going, this is supposed to be something created in the virtual world. But man, as it keeps on putting out stuff, it's really being anchored even more in the real world. It continued on and it says, now it's interesting. Listen to this word. It says, most importantly, His plan doesn't work because his claims are true. It works because he exploits how humans and media work. What it's saying is this character will know, prima facie, I guess is the word, on its face, that what it's sharing is basically complete bullshit. But it's the plan. But what has to be said. And what this is saying is the most important part of this claiming system is to understand what they're doing doesn't work because his claims are true. I've got this, it was this, you saw this. That's not the point. The point is the plan works because he's exploiting how humans and media work. How many times? We'll just use the 2020 election as an anchor marker for you. How many times, after you go back and look at in years and basically, I guess, audit people who have told you they're here to save the elections, realize that I guess I would say their concepts of work or theory are total bullshit, but yet, as you're out in your daily life or you're watching things online, you believe, holy smokes, the world ate it up. And it was never true. And see, this was like really powerful me. It says the plan doesn't work because his claims are true, because they're never true. It works because the perpetrators know exactly how to exploit humans and how the media works to do it. Now, that was sobering. That was so, I don't know, put it in chat. I don't know if for you, chills are still running up and down my spine because I never know, you ask a question, you're going to get an answer. You're going to get a very logical, thoughtful answer that has nothing to do with any bias. You're just, here's the answer, right? Based on all the data in the world looking at it. And I'm like, damn. So I said, okay, well, let's go into this. I need really specifics now because I think many of you, a lot of this feels familiar to you, doesn't it? Doesn't all of this feel very familiar to you? And so I'm telling the system, okay, give me some meat here. Let's get to the meat. Well, here's what it said. An element that must happen is they must scapegoat in times of fear. I want you to pay attention to that statement and asking what drives this home. What makes this real for the world? If somebody's going to do this and be this evil character, and you're going to have somebody on the opposite side that, recognizes it, what drives it home? And it's basically saying, in order for this to work, it must be hooked to scapegoating during times of fear. Now, this works when things feel out of control. The economy, culture wars, tech changes, people naturally look for a simple enemy. People need a simple enemy. Now, for me, I've always told you for years, there's no need to really hate on Soros. There's no need to really hate on Hillary. Because if Hillary went to jail, nothing changes. If we got our email, nothing changes. If Soros was sent to Gitmo, nothing changes. I've told you, they're just actors in a play. And you got to see the bigger picture. And right now, you can agree, our economy seems out of control. Our culture wars are definitely out of control. Tech changes with AI and stuff. Come on, we're doing an AI exercise, right? The people need a simple enemy. So basically in this thing, what's the simplest enemy? AI came up with your villain offers that it's all because of them. And who did the system put forward? Jews are the scapegoat. But mechanically, you're showing a universal pattern. Pick a minority, blame them for everything. Remember, I told you I did this because I was on with Roseanne. We're talking about what's going on culturally, religiously, faith, everything, elections, the whole bit. Artificial intelligence, which can read everything in the world, says the villain, to give you that thing to focus on, it needs a scapegoat. The villain will offer you, you can see it in your story, the villains will offer you, Jews are the scapegoat. But mechanically, you're showing a universal pattern. Pick a minority, blame them for everything. Holy crap. Does any of this feel familiar to you? Holy smokes. I'm going, this is like, wait a freaking minute here. I'm just doing a social experiment, a thought experiment. Can you be made to shun God? And look at the formula it's given. Let's go on. Now, in order to have this happen, you already understand the scapegoat, it must work in combination with information overload plus distrust. It says that people are drowning in information and already distrust institutions, government, press, even churches. It's kind of right on, isn't it? It says the villain's media company says everyone else is lying, only we tell the truth. That we alone see clearly, and the pitch is extremely seductive. So I wanted to know more about this. What is this? How does this work that they can actually make a very large part of the population believe everyone else is lying, only we were telling the truth, and we alone see clearly? Remember, when it comes to getting you to shun God, how would that work? And it started spitting out all of this stuff about breaking story. We've got the exclusive. We got a whistleblower. Only us have this story. It's a royal flag. I mean, it just started spitting out these ways these stories are done. And it's interesting, right? And they always combine this with it's got to be an emotional story versus just dry facts. I've lost everything. They're suppressing and killing people. My whole company went down. I mean, it has to have this really tied to emotional thing you can relate to. That's what they call tearful testimonies. Now, in this case, to get you to turn away from God, and it's to get people in there to start saying, well, I discovered truth and left my corrupt church. And they basically say to do this, and I think about social media and some of this stuff, the truth about the Jews or whatever, it's always paired with this ominous music, and that's to reinforce the psychological factor of what's going on. And they'll cherry proof statistics. Somebody came into when the episode with Roseanne and myself was rerunning on my channel. Somebody came in and said, well, that guy that wrote the book, The Dragon Prophecy, he's this, he's that, he's bad. And what did it give? A heavily edited video playing it like it was proving their point. And this is what kind of spurred me to run this thought experiment. I'm going, holy smoke. I just was subject to clever edits that people are presenting as proof. Now, I'll give you the example. A lot of this, I think about, it's the election machines. They swapped the votes. It's coming from Venezuela. Got a whistleblower. We know it. We cracked the 6-dimensional polyfragmental whatever crap fractadally. I'm going, holy smokes. Now, what happens in these scenarios is it, and again, this is the system words, not mine. The viewers feel like they've taken the red pill and know what others don't. AI is looking at this, building a plan, and it says, you got to get people to take the red pill, which is the Matrix analogy, that people feel like they know what others don't know. Well, I know it's a 6-degree polynomial fractodactyl pterodactyl. Well, how do you know that? Because I saw it on that TV, and they just tell us everything. Frankly, I saw it over and over. I know that's it. Well, describe it. Well, it's a math. Well, again, I just have to ask you a question. Does any of this sound or feel familiar to you? I have no say in what it puts out. I give it a beginning. I give it an end. I say, reveal the plan. Wow. Then it goes on. Here's how they drive it home to get to where they want to go. Now get ready. What happens is, in order for this to work, it's got to have echo chambers and algorithms. So I asked about, give my evil person a way that they're doing this in the world, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And AI on its own says, well, they'll create a media company for patriots. Well, what it's telling me here is on his platform for this evil thing and allied social media, they will continue to promote content that triggers anger and fear. And what happens is it continues to compound and get more angry and more exaggeration. I remember in elections when people were saying, I'm going to build the guillotine, I've got the rope. The same people have circled back and saying, we're going to have to build an army of 20 or 30,000, go to their house, and we're going to have to basically execute them. I mean, this is going on. Now, what happens when people watch this in this format, where it's pushing people to is the system is corrupt. The system is controlled by X. Faith itself is a tool of that control. But I just watch these things roll out in front of me. And it's all based on, to get it to work, it's got to have massive amplification. Remember, on just the election stuff as an example, what the system suppressed was massive amplification. Then think right now, what the system is, in fact, massively amplifying. All of this feels familiar. Now, here we go. I just want to they tie all of this to job loss, medical debt, political disappointment, church scandals. What happens is the conspiracy theory becomes a unifying story that falsely explains everything. And in this, I told you what it offered up was a minority and make the minority responsible for it. It's the Jews. The system came up on its own. Now I want you to think about what you're seeing in social media. It's the Jews. All of these people are Jews. All of these people did this. They're Jews. They're in everything. They run everything. The whole cabinet is Jews. All these people are Jews. Here it is. What happens is, as they sell this, the conspiracy theory becomes a unifying story that falsely explains everything. People go, oh, wow, it is the Jews. Wow, it's the smallest nation on earth and smallest people. It is the Jews. Oh my God. I'm just trying to weave this together, right? Etc. I find this really odd because right now in social media, what are we seeing about everything? Every single excuse for everything going wrong is it's the Jews. And everybody's laying over the Jews. They rigged the elections. They own the politicians. They control Washington, D.C. They control all the money. They control the military. They control the media. They're bad. They're evil. Now, what shocked me is in this thought experiment, because that's all this is, I'm asking the system, if I've got an evil person that is trying to destroy America, cleave them away from God, that's the issue. And you got to have a hero that understands it and is pushing back against it. You got to have the bad guy doing it. Give me the plan, the plot, and the procedure. And what I've been sharing with you is just part of the plan, the plot, and the procedure. Now, this is supposedly a work of fiction, a social experiment. How is it that this social experiment happens to be exactly what's been happened to us? I mean, down to even fine nuances. Look how many people there are patriots selling junk. But people believe it. I'll give the prime example for me is people believe they watched the numbers of the election change on television. And that means votes were taken away here and then. Well, that's the psychological warfare, because you go back to the first part, it says it knows how to use people's minds and the media together to make them believe something. Wow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpack this in sections. I'm not going to overdose you on this. So right now you kind of have the setup of how this can occur. It probably feels incredibly familiar to you. You're probably going, wow. We kind of watched that play out. And so that's why this is going to be a multiple part series, because I'm telling you, this is the easy stuff. It gets more shocking, more nefarious, because remember, the end goal is to destroy the United States of America. but more importantly, to make people shun God. Can it really happen? Is that what's going on? Is that part of an evil plan that's actually in play and not a work of fiction? That's what we're going to find out together. Share this program. Get ready for part 2. It's going to blow your mind.
Our courts are based on clear and convincing evidence. Want convictions? Want justice? For what happened in the 2020 election? Then we need your help. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The decision you make in the next few moments could decide whether we ever get our elections fixed or not. Here's why. Trump campaign and allies filed 64 different lawsuits. They all went down in flames. 100% of these cases were presented on "It's the machines," or "The machines changed the votes," or "The voting company executive said he would make sure Donald J. Trump would not win." They all went down in flames. Why? You can't bring theories to court as evidence. No supposed Zoom call or 6-degree polynomial math theory or census data is or ever will be proof of fraud. You can't bring theories to court as evidence. Here's why. In both civil and criminal law, the side making a claim carries the burden of proof, and prosecutors must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Without physical or otherwise verifiable evidence, a case cannot meet this high threshold. Physical evidence is the key. The question is, did anyone get relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election? And the answer is yes, absolutely. The full forensic audit of Maricopa County, Arizona is the only evidence-gathering work which gathered relevant, reliable, provable, testable, and duplicatable evidence of what really happened in the 2020 general election. Evidence so damning that the system, the deep state, and those who pull the strings of this country have fought to keep it hidden and have hoped to have it be forgotten to time. Almost $3 million invested in time, funds, and efforts to unlock that which the system wanted hidden. But now, that evidence is in danger of being lost forever. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. With the 2026 midterms coming up, the system is going to try to lame duck President Trump and then most likely introduce new impeachment proceedings. This is the evidence which will help win the war which is surely to come. We need to keep Maricopa County full forensic investigation and archive secure and ongoing. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then we need your help. Please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We need your help securing the full forensic audit archives. Don't allow the only testable, objective, and reliable 2020 election evidence fall into obscurity. Millions were spent on getting it documented and tested. This is historic evidence. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. The historic Maricopa County full forensic audit effort processed 20,895,610 digital and forensic images of varying formats, resulted in 208 million individual evidence-proof files. The system processed over 58 billion forensic measurements, resulting in over 2 trillion individual base computations. No hopium, no hype, just hardcore forensic evidence. Please make sure the Maricopa County full forensic audit archives survive. Donate now. So if you want what happened in the 2020 election fixed, then please donate to protect and secure this historic evidence. We can't do it without you. We need you. America needs you. Our future needs you. Please donate now. Not fixing 2020 will damn our nation forever. Please donate now.
We've got all the right in the world on our side, and there ain't no reason to be afraid, and there ain't no reason to not take the challenge dead on, because I'm going to tell you who we come from, folks. We don't come from some weak, jellyback, spineless people. That's not who we come from. None of us. And it doesn't matter what color you are, what nation your folks hail from, how much money you got. We all share the same name. We are Americans. And at Bunker Hill, there was Americans. And at Fredericksburg and Gettysburg, there was Americans. And at Iwo Jima, raising that flag on Suribachi, it was Americans. And at Pork Chop Hill, there was Americans. Quezon, there was Americans. And on 9/11, there was Americans who ran towards those burning buildings. That is who you share your heritage with. You do not share your heritage with a weak and ineffective people who cower at the sight of trouble. You share your heritage with a strong and brave people who are determined to hold on to their freedom and for the freedom of future generations. Guys, it's time for us to stand up and be that generation. It's time for us to stand strong and proud and remember who we are. That we are Americans. And as long as we stand as the vanguard of freedom in this nation, freedom will survive people. Not only survive, it will thrive. So guys, it's time to put on our packs. It's time to fix those bayonets. It's time to get ready. We got a fight on our hands. And our fight is not for us, for all those generations that's going to come behind us. Let's save America, folks.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.